So we've had some of the most incredible storytellers, directors, and supervising animators come and speak at our graduation. And today our speaker for me is amongst one of the greatest storytellers of our time. A two-time Academy Award winner, co-writer on all the Toy Story films, A Bug's Life, and one of my personal favorites, Monsters, Inc. I had the pleasure of working with him directly on a story about a determined little fish and his father's journey to learn to trust and to let go. Finding Nemo for me marks my personal favorite journey as being an animator. It's the film I feel like I kind of understood, even just maybe a little bit, how to animate, and also had the freedom and creativity to create what I feel like for me is the work that I'm most proud of in my career. So today, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a very warm welcome for Mr. Andrew Stanton.
Good afternoon, Animation Mentor graduates. I don't think I heard that. Good afternoon, Animation Mentor graduates. As of today, you have been formally educated in the ways of animation, and you are awesome. You have held your poses, articulated your models, smoothed your splines, and bounced your balls. You have overlapped your actions, followed through on your arcs, eased in and out, squashed and then stretched. You have put serious thoughts into questions like, where are a bicycle's eyes? And do toilet rolls fear becoming just a tube? And will I ever get outside and breathe fresh air again? You have given characters weight, attitude, intention, action, reaction, motivation, and in general, more consideration than any living person you've ever known. And that is why your boyfriend or girlfriend left you. Get used to it. You have made your characters anticipate their actions, improve their staging, increase their appeal, and given them more cycles of walking than your dog, and that is why your pet left you. Again, get used to it. Through ceaseless months of online mentorship, you have avoided the temptations of online procrastination, abstaining from checking your friend status, reading your tweets, single-clicking impulse purchases, or splitting your Marines against incoming Banelings only to see a flock of mutas arrive at your undefended third. Some of you aren't as nerdy as my son. Okay, I'll have to make a note on that. Now that you are filled with all this knowledge, all these newly acquired skills which have shaped your raw talent into a weapon of mass creativity, may I suggest one more discipline before you unleash yourselves onto the world. I make you this challenge, that from here on, when someone asks you what you do, tame your eagerness and simply tell them that you animate, and refrain from calling yourself an animator. Why? Because an animator is a gift word. You cannot give it to yourself. It is a distinction for others to bestow upon you. In the early days of Pixar, when Toy Story was just a notion, John Lasseter, Pete Docter, and I were in daily, sometimes hourly struggle to conquer this rising new medium called computer animation. And we would constantly remind one another that you couldn't simply call yourself animator just because you wanted it to be so. We didn't make this rule up. This wisdom was passed down to us by the master himself, Chuck Jones. And if the man who gave life to Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Coyote, and Roadrunner was unwilling to call himself an animator, then we certainly could not either. Chuck Jones explained to us that animator was a title he had to earn every day. And if he excelled at his job, pushed himself, strived for betterment in all instances, it would naturally provoke his employers, his peers, his fans, and even his enemies to call him an animator. If he simply focused all his efforts towards his craft, then recognition would take care of itself. And that kind of attitude is what will fuel any real success you gain in this field. Realize that this moment for you now is not an end, but a formal beginning, a launch into a lifetime of learning your artistry, of mastering your talents, for what is a master but a master student? The exercises and assignments you've tackled over these numerous months were not a test, they were a dress rehearsal for being a student for the rest of your career. If animating is truly in your blood, then you will never stop challenging yourself. You will continually set new goals higher and higher, and if you apply these standards correctly, fervently, dutifully, one day you'll find yourself animating well enough that others will actually pay you for it. Imagine that, the very thing you love to do so much that you'll do it for free, others will pay you for. That, to many, is the true definition of happiness. Now, crossing this milestone will make you, in industry terms, a professional. And if you're smart, this will only motivate you more to be tireless in your pursuit of excellence. Project after project, year after year, until one day you gain the opportunity to take pause, look back, and realize you're giving a graduation speech about your profession to people half your age who are angling for your sweet job. And I believe I'm justified in this intimidation of you all, because you're not just anyone, you are graduates of what could be argued as one of the most elite animation training schools in the world today. And I'm ashamed to admit that I had discovered this fact much later than I should have. Not everyone realizes that nearly half of my last film, John Carter, was animated. There were over 1,200 shots required for character animation, which meant recruiting up to 110 animators from around the globe. All of them migrated to London to work on the show, and we had a mixer at a local pub so that I could personally be introduced to the top talent. And I was shocked and delighted to discover that almost half of them had learned how to animate by attending Animation Mentor. Here I was thinking that Bobby, Sean, and Carlos were just trying to make a quick buck, and I had no idea that they were single-handedly saving the art of animation for future generations. Folks, your mentors are awesome. And the animation your alumni did on John Carter was stellar. They were some of the best animators I've worked with and are a testament to the quality of training that all you graduates here today have received. But even with such top-notch a crew at my disposal, the learning continued. I remember a scene in particular where animation was being done on a creature based on performances generated by the actor Willem Dafoe in a motion capture suit. And the animation was very well done, nearly textbook in its execution, but something about the performance was, well, animated. So I had them replay the original reference footage of Willem Dafoe, and that's when I recognized the problem. I asked the animators in the screening room, "Watch Willem. What's he doing in this shot?" And the group watched, and finally someone said, "Nothing." And I said, "Exactly." Dafoe's non-performance was what was so riveting. Sometimes you have to have the courage to just do nothing. The animator had fallen into the common trap of thinking like an animator and not a documentarian. And this represents the most important animation lesson that I could ever leave with you all. And it's a lesson that could never fully be completed, and that is live a life. Don't study animation, study life. In order to observe life, you have to have a life. Live, observe, animate, in that order. And so, Animation Mentor Class of 2012, let me be the first to start what I really hope will be a trend in your life. I could think of no greater graduation gift to give you than this. Today, I am proud to call each and every one of you animators.